Thousands of Asian immigrants are being deported from the US this year, and not for the reasons you'd expect. So what changed? Why now? And which countries are taking the biggest hit? Today we're counting down the 10 Asian nations facing US deportations in 2025, and the shocking reason behind each one. Smash that like button if you think immigration policies are changing too fast, and let's dive in. Number 10, Uzbekistan. Faruk thought he was finally safe. After fleeing Tashkent and landing in Brooklyn, he picked up 2 jobs, sent money home, and stayed out of trouble. But last month, a knock came at 6:15 a.m. Immigration. We have a removal order. Just like that, his American dream cracked wide open. Uzbekistan has landed on the US deportation radar in 2025, and it's not by accident. Officials report a disturbing rise in fake asylum claims, stories crafted to win sympathy, but often found to be false under investigation. The most common ones? Political persecution, extremist threats, torture back home. But when investigators dig deeper, many of these tales unravel. And once they do, deportation becomes automatic. Even worse, several high-profile cases tied to fake documents and smuggling operations have triggered national headlines, fueling public outrage and putting legal Uzbek immigrants under unwanted scrutiny. Faruk? He never smuggled anything. Never lied on a form. But his asylum claim, filed through a shady consultant, had inconsistencies, and now he's facing deportation, lumped in with those who gamed the system. And here's the sting. This crackdown isn't just about fraud. It's about fear. Fear that a few bad actors are putting thousands at risk. Fear that anyone with an expired visa could be next. It's why Trump's message is loud and clear: no loopholes. No mercy. Follow the rules, or go home. Legal Uzbek families are now walking on eggshells, worried that one misstep, one delay in paperwork, could cost them everything. And what about the U.S.-Uzbekistan relationship? With deportations accelerating and cooperation tightening, many wonder if the bond will snap under pressure. This story isn't just about policy, it's about real people, caught in a storm they didn't create. If you believe stories like Faruk's need to be heard, make sure you're subscribed. We're diving deeper into every country, every policy, and every untold consequence. Up next, Laos. And trust me, what's happening at the border is way worse than you've heard. Don't blink. This ride only gets bumpier from here. Number 9, Laos. Imagine being uprooted from the only home you've ever known, thrust into a land where you don't speak the language, and have no connections. This is the reality for many Laotian immigrants facing deportation from the United States in 2025. Meet Sambat, a 28-year-old Laotian who arrived in the US as a child. He built a life in Minneapolis, contributing to his community and supporting his family. Yet, due to a minor legal infraction years ago, he's now facing deportation to a country he barely remembers. His story isn't unique. The numbers tell a grim tale. As of early 2025, over 4,800 Laotian nationals are under final deportation orders in the US, according to IC reports. This surge is part of a broader immigration crackdown under the Trump administration, which has intensified efforts to remove undocumented immigrants. Systemic challenges exacerbate the issue. Laos has historically lacked robust biometric systems, making it difficult for US authorities to verify identities and process deportations efficiently. However, recent collaborations with international organizations have led to the implementation of advanced document verification technologies at key entry points like Wadi International Airport. Additionally, Laos is progressing towards a national digital ID system to streamline citizen identification. Despite these advancements, the current infrastructure still struggles to handle the complexities of modern immigration enforcement, leading to delays and complications in deportation proceedings. The impact on families is profound. Legal Laotian residents live in fear, worried that minor infractions or administrative errors could lead to deportation. The emotional toll is immense, with communities feeling targeted and uncertain about their future. Engage and share your thoughts. We want to hear from you. How do you feel about the current immigration policies affecting Laotian communities? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters. To keep up with the latest developments on immigration policies and their impact on communities like yours, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring these important stories to light. Up next, Myanmar. Stay tuned as we delve into the situation in Myanmar, where political turmoil and identity verification issues are leading to increased deportations. You won't want to miss this. Number 8, Yemen. She was 9 when the bombs started falling. No bedtime stories. No school buses. Just silence and sirens. Fast forward a decade, Rania walks the halls of a Los Angeles high school, straight-A student, sharp-witted, always volunteering at the local clinic. Her father works double shifts in a restaurant. Her mom babysits neighborhood kids. Quiet. Kind. The kind of family you'd never notice until they're gone. Last month, their door was knocked down before sunrise. A letter. A stamp. A single word, removed. Their asylum claim, filed years ago during the peak of Yemen's civil war, was denied. No explanation. No second chance. Now they're being flown to a land where the sky rains missiles and the future is a coin toss. And they're not alone. In 2025, Yemen ranks number 8 on the US deportation list for Asian countries. Why? 3 key reasons: a decade-long civil war, broken government databases, and national security fears. You see, when US officials can't confirm who you are, when documents are missing, destroyed, or forged, they assume the worst. And because Yemen can't reliably accept its own deported citizens, the US is accelerating removals to clear the backlog. Fast. So asylum rejections are up 22%. Deportation orders are piling up. And families like Rania's? They're caught in the middle of a geopolitical mess that has nothing to do with them, but could cost them everything. Let that sink in. Kids who've only ever known American soil are being sent to a place where girls are married off at 14, where hospitals are bombed, and where survival isn't a right, it's a miracle. This isn't just paperwork. This is the erasure of a life built from scratch. So what do you think? Do national security fears justify this kind of blanket policy? Or are we punishing the innocent for the system's failure to see them? Join the conversation. Share your thoughts below. Because real change starts when we stop scrolling and start speaking. Next up, Tajikistan. A place where the shadow of extremism is fueling deportations, and innocent lives are being swept into suspicion. Stick around. It's about to get darker. Number 7, Tajikistan. In the quiet suburbs of Minneapolis, Farid, a 32-year-old Tajik immigrant, starts his day before dawn, delivering newspapers to support his family. Having fled political unrest in Tajikistan a decade ago, he built a life rooted in hard work and community service. His children born and raised in the US, know little of their father's homeland. However, recent developments have cast a shadow over families like Farid's. In 2025, Tajikistan ranks 7th among Asian countries facing increased US deportations. The surge is primarily attributed to national security concerns, with some Tajik nationals suspected of extremist affiliations. Verifying identities has become challenging due to Tajikistan's limited biometric infrastructure, leading to difficulties in distinguishing between genuine asylum seekers and potential threats. Over the past 4 years, 825 Tajik citizens have been detained in the US, with 88 deported due to violations of US law. In June 2024, 8 individuals from Tajikistan were arrested in cities like New York and Los Angeles on suspicions of ties to extremist groups. These incidents have heightened scrutiny on the Tajik community, instilling fear among law-abiding residents. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has expressed concerns about individuals with potential terrorism connections attempting to enter the country through various means, including the immigration system. This has led to stricter enforcement measures and increased deportations, even as Tajikistan's cooperation in repatriation efforts remains limited. U.S. Department of Homeland Security. For families like Farid's, the uncertainty is palpable. Despite years of contributing positively to their communities, they now live under the looming threat of deportation, their futures hanging in the balance. Join the conversation. What are your thoughts on the current immigration policies affecting Tajik nationals in the U.S.? Do you believe the measures strike the right balance between national security and humanitarian considerations? Share your perspectives below. Next up, Kyrgyzstan, where overstayed student visas and rising fears of asylum removals are turning everyday dreams into deportation nightmares. Don't move a muscle. This is where it gets personal. Number 6, Kyrgyzstan. Ida had it all mapped out. Graduate with honors. Land a job in New York. Send money back to Bishkek. Maybe even start her own non-profit one day. She didn't come to the US to cause trouble, she came to chase a purpose. But now, she's hiding in plain sight. Her student visa expired 5 months ago, and despite following every rule, filing every document, and praying to every immigration hotline she could reach, her case is stuck in processing hell. And she's not alone. Thousands of Kyrgyz nationals in 2025 are living on borrowed time, and the clock's ticking louder than ever. This year, Kyrgyzstan is ranked 6th among Asian countries facing US deportations. Why? 2 simple words: visa overstays. See, most Kyrgyz immigrants arrive legally, on student, tourist, or temporary work visas. But life happens. Deadlines blur. Renewals lag. And once that visa expires, boom. You're undocumented. And in 2025, That's a one-way ticket. What's worse? Kyrgyzstan's government is slow to take its people back. The US hates it. Immigration officials say delays from Bishkek are jamming up detention centers and straining resources. So what's the solution? Faster enforcement. Less leniency. Less mercy. So now, folks like Ida, bright, honest, hardworking, are lumped in with everyone else. Even if you're playing by the book, if you're caught in the backlog, you're fair game. And don't think this is just about one girl in Brooklyn. Entire Kyrgyz communities across Chicago, Seattle, and LA are holding their breath. Parents won't let their kids answer the door. Even legal immigrants are afraid of being misidentified, mishandled, or misjudged. The emotional toll? Unbearable. The legal system? Overwhelmed. The solution? Still unclear. But here's what's certain, the fear is real, and it's spreading. So what do you think? Is overstaying a visa enough reason to deport someone who's otherwise contributing? Or are we throwing out the good with the bad? Drop your thoughts below. This is where the real conversation happens. And don't go anywhere, because what's next? Let's just say, it's a country no one expected to see on this list. It's small. It's silent. And it just might be hiding a massive immigration secret. Brace yourself. Things are about to get strange. Number 5. Bhutan. Imagine rebuilding your life from scratch. New country, new language, new dreams. That was the reality for over 90,000 Bhutanese refugees resettled in the US after fleeing ethnic cleansing in the 1990s. They transformed towns like Reynoldsburg, Ohio, and Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, opening businesses, enriching communities, and embracing the American dream. But in 2025, that dream is unraveling. The US has ramped up deportations of Bhutanese refugees, citing concerns over unverifiable asylum claims and trafficking risks. Many of these individuals, despite having served sentences for past offenses, are being sent back to a country they've never truly known. Take the case of Ashish Subedi. Born in a refugee camp in Nepal, he was resettled in the US in 2016. After a minor legal issue, he was deported to Bhutan, only to be rejected and left stateless in Nepal. Now, he lives in a bamboo hut, separated from his family and uncertain about his future. This isn't an isolated incident. Bhutanese authorities have refused to accept deportees, instead sending them to India, where they lack legal status and protection. Advocacy groups are calling this a violation of human rights, emphasizing the need for dignified repatriation and international support. The emotional toll is immense. Families are torn apart, communities live in fear, and individuals face the trauma of statelessness once again. The very people who revitalized struggling towns are now at risk of losing everything. As we delve deeper into the complexities of immigration and deportation, it's crucial to remember the human stories behind the headlines. The Bhutanese community's plight serves as a stark reminder of the challenges refugees face, even after resettlement. What are your thoughts on the current deportation policies affecting Bhutanese refugees? Do you believe these measures are justified, or do they undermine the values of compassion and justice? Share your perspectives below. Up next, a nation cloaked in mystery. Stay tuned as we explore the situation in a country shrouded in secrecy, where immigration policies take an unexpected turn. The revelations might surprise you. Number 4. Mongolia. It was supposed to be temporary. Just 6 months, earn a bit of money, send it back to his mother in Ulaanbaatar. That was the plan. But for Baatar, 6 months became 16. The job in Colorado paid well, the boss liked him, and no one asked too many questions. Until IC knocked. In 2025, Mongolia ranks number 4 on the US deportation list, and the reason is brutal in its simplicity: visa overstays. Thousands of Mongolians enter the US legally every year through the H-2B seasonal worker program, taking jobs in construction, landscaping, and hospitality. But when those short-term contracts expire, many don't leave. Not because they're reckless, but because home doesn't have jobs, or hope. And here's the twist: Mongolia's government is dragging its feet. Deportation requests are delayed, ignored, or lost in translation. This frustrates US officials, clogs up detention centers, and has triggered a zero-tolerance crackdown on Mongolian nationals, legal or not. Hey, real quick. From our stats, we've got way more viewers than subscribers. Like, a whole yurt full of people watching and not joining. If you've been riding with us, laughing, crying, gasping at all the wild turns, why not make it official? Join the community. We don't bite. We just drop real stories every week. Thank you. Alright, back to it. The truth is, even legal Mongolian residents are nervous now. One typo in your file, one expired work permit, and you're suddenly swept into an algorithm that doesn't care who you are, just where you're from. Baatar? He's locked up in a facility outside Phoenix. Waiting to be sent back to a country that hasn't confirmed they'll even take him. He calls home once a week. Tells his mom the lights never go out. The guards rarely speak. The nights feel endless. And here's the part that hurts most. He might never make it back. Not to America. Not to Mongolia. Not anywhere. So what happens when you're too foreign for one country, and too forgotten for the other? That's not just immigration policy. That's purgatory. So what do you think? Should countries be held accountable when they refuse to take their citizens back? Or is the US creating ghosts out of paperwork? Join the conversation below. Your voice matters here. Next up, a country most people overlook, but in 2025, it's become a silent trigger for a shocking wave of removals. Don't blink. It's coming fast. Number 3, Iran. What if we told you that fleeing a dictatorship could still get you labeled a threat in the land of the free? Let that sink in. Now imagine being Layla, a 32-year-old Iranian journalist who once dared to write about corruption in her hometown of Shiraz. She received threats, watched colleagues disappear, and one morning found her front door splashed with red paint. It was time to go. She made it to the US in 2023 legally, with an asylum application in hand and hope in her eyes. Now, in 2025, she's one of thousands facing deportation. Why? Because this year, Iran ranks number 3 on the list of Asian countries facing US deportations, and the reasoning has a sharp edge. Officials cite espionage risks, terror ties, and a total breakdown in diplomatic trust. And while most of these fears center around government actors, the fallout, it hits people like Layla, the non-violent, apolitical, everyday people, the hardest. With Iran refusing to cooperate with US repatriation efforts, deportation becomes a long, cold waiting game. Those denied asylum are either shipped back or left in detention limbo, with nowhere to go, no country to claim them, and no legal escape hatch. So ask yourself, should nationality be enough to put someone on a government watch list? Because that's exactly what's happening. Even legal residents, students, engineers, nurses, are now walking on eggshells. One expired form, one late renewal, and boom, you're flagged. Your case is reopened. And suddenly, your American dream is put on ice. Layla? She got a letter. 30 days to leave. No appeal left. No country willing to take her in. Iran still considers her a dissident. And the US? A number. A name on a list. Here's the kicker, no one, not even her lawyer, knows where she'll end up. Now if that hit even a little too close to home, smash that like button right now. It helps us bring more of these hidden stories to light. Then ask yourself this. Are we really safer if fear becomes policy? Or are we just silencing voices that dare to speak? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's open this up. Next up, a country wrapped in tragedy and rebellion, where deportation isn't just a consequence, it's a death sentence. Stick around. You need to hear what's coming. Number 2, Myanmar. What if escaping a war zone meant being sent back to one? Imagine fleeing a place where your existence is seen as rebellion, your ethnicity is treated as a threat, and your identity can cost you your life. That's what many Myanmar nationals face. And in 2025, thousands who sought safety in the US are now facing deportation right back into the fire. Since the 2021 military coup, Myanmar has spiraled into instability. A brutal regime has taken control, crushing opposition, silencing journalists, and triggering a humanitarian nightmare. Over 1.5 million people have been displaced internally, and countless others have fled abroad. But here's the catch. Myanmar's broken bureaucracy makes it nearly impossible for US officials to verify identities or process deportation smoothly. Their ID systems are a mess. Their new biometric smart card program is so under-resourced, the junta can't even issue enough cards to meet demand. It's chaos wrapped in silence. And this chaos is destroying real lives. Take Ong Min, a soft-spoken 24-year-old who survived a military raid on his village in Rakhine State. His brother was arrested. His house was burned. He ran for his life. He made it to the US last year and applied for asylum. But with no official documents, because his village registry was destroyed, his application was denied. He now has 60 days before deportation. 60 days until he's returned to a regime that already has his name. This year, Myanmar is ranked number 2 among Asian countries facing US deportation. The numbers are rising, especially among those with rejected asylum claims or overstayed visas. And it's hitting ethnic minorities the hardest: Rohingya families, Chin, Kachin, and Karen communities, all groups historically persecuted by Myanmar's military. The US is frustrated too. Myanmar delays accepting deportees, prolonging detention times, and putting pressure on immigration resources. But in the middle of this geopolitical standoff are terrified families, unsure of where they truly belong, or where they'll be safe. If this story hit you even a little, smash that like button. That tiny tap spreads awareness and keeps the light on lives the world too often forgets. So let's talk about it. Should the US deport people to countries with active conflicts and human rights abuses? Or is there a better path forward? Join the conversation below. Your opinion matters more than ever. Next up, number 1. A global superpower, a rising espionage threat, and a deportation story that has both nations walking on eggshells. You don't want to miss what's coming. Number 1. China. What if chasing the American dream suddenly made you a national security threat, just because your passport says Made in China? In 2025, China officially ranks number 1 on the US deportation list. And while some say it's no surprise, the real stories behind the headlines are anything but predictable. Tensions between the US and China are peaking. Espionage allegations, cyber attacks, accusations of tech theft. And now, immigration is in the crosshairs. US authorities are sounding alarms, claiming that certain Chinese nationals might be using student and work visas as Trojan horses, spying, stealing trade secrets, or collecting sensitive intel. Whether that's true on a large scale or not, the response has been swift and sweeping. Chinese asylum seekers and visa overstayers are now being deported faster and more aggressively than ever before. And China's past refusal to accept deportees? That's changing. In recent months, both governments quietly agreed to resume deportation flights. Officials call it a breakthrough. Critics call it a political transaction. But the consequences? They're deeply human. Like Li Wei, a 28-year-old software engineer from Shenzhen. He arrived in the US on a student visa, stayed after graduation, and applied for asylum after publicly criticizing the Chinese Communist Party on Twitter. His request was denied. His appeal? Also denied. Now he's being sent back, to a country where surveillance is the wallpaper, and people like him disappear without headlines. His only crime? Speaking up in a country that doesn't forgive dissent. It's stories like this that reveal the gray area in America's immigration playbook. Yes, national security matters. Yes, espionage is real. But does every overstayed visa deserve the same fate? Are we targeting spies, or silencing survivors? Now, quick reality check. If that hit you in the chest even a little, smash that like button. Help us keep the light on the stories most people never hear. So what do you think? Is this crackdown necessary? Or are we stepping into dangerous territory, where guilt is assigned by association? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let it out. We're listening. And now that we've reached the end of the list, think we're done? Not even close. Because up next, we're flipping the script. We're going to show you the countries where immigrants aren't just welcome, they're being begged to stay. Stick around. This is where it gets wild.